We've talked on this show about how Johnson & Johnson talcum products are endangering the lives of consumers. Now the drug company is under fire for resorting to a corporate loophole that lets the company escape liability for tens of thousands of cancer lawsuits. Joining me now is public justice attorney Ellen Noble. Ellen, first of all, talk to us about how widespread the talcum problem is. How many Americans have been endangered by Johnson & Johnson products?
Potentially hundreds of thousands. Right now, there's tens of thousands of individual claims from people that they are suffering from ovarian cancer and mesothelioma caused by asbestos in Johnson & Johnson talc products, including Johnson & Johnson baby powder. There's 38,000 pending talc cases, but that number is likely going to grow over time because the cancer diagnosis comes years later, sometimes 20 years later after the initial exposure to the product. And when you take that into account and the fact that Johnson & Johnson didn't take baby powder off its shelves until 2020, the number of people impacted is going to keep climbing, and it could really be astronomical.
Yeah, the real story, I'm handling these cases, full disclosure, and the real story is that they've known about this since about the 1960s, or actually the late 50s. They understood there was a connection between asbestos that was in their product and mesothelioma, or some type of cancer they didn't identify then. And they had every reason to pull this off of the market many, many years ago and simply make a change. Take the asbestos out, make it into a product that won't kill people. The documents are overwhelming in this case. The company clearly knew they were causing cervical cancer in women, but sold it anyway because it's big profit. What sort of legal recourse have we seen over cancer cases?
Well, Johnson & Johnson's been hit with a number of massive verdicts in cases that go before state court juries. In total, cancer victims have secured about $3.5 billion collectively in verdicts and settlements, and including one case in which 22 women with ovarian cancer secured damages of over $2 billion. But a lot of these cases are pending in federal court, where they're centralized before one judge in the District of New Jersey as part of an MDL, or multi-district litigation. And the bellwether trials for that are supposed to start this spring. But if Johnson & Johnson gets its way, those cases will never be heard by a jury.
Well, okay, so the viewers understand, this is a company that right now, as we speak, is worth $420 billion. They made $94 billion just last year. This first quarter of, the point is, it's obscene. But nevertheless, Texas came up with a process called the Texas two-step, exactly what we would expect out of Texas. With the appellate court, they said, yeah, you can do this. You can have as much money as you possibly can stuff into your greedy little pockets and still claim bankruptcy where you've killed thousands of people. That kind of sums it up. Tell us about this loophole that Johnson & Johnson's been exploiting.
That's right. So under the Texas two-step, in step one, Johnson & Johnson heads over to Texas, and they take advantage of this quirk in Texas corporate law called a divisive merger. That lets them split the company into two. Then they put the vast majority of their assets, like you said, worth $450 billion into one company, and then they put all of their talc liability into another entity. So this entity, this corporate shell or dummy company that is saddled with all of this liability and has hardly any assets, then goes around 2 days later and declares bankruptcy. And the whole point is to shield Johnson & Johnson's assets and let them continue business as usual while cancer victims are stuck in bankruptcy limbo when they may never get their day in court.
So we allow these sociopathic criminals. Those are the folks running Johnson & Johnson now. They're sociopaths, they're criminals. There's no other way to describe it. They lie, they cheat, they steal, they kill consumers. They make massive profits. They're worth $420 billion. And now they're sitting in front of a bankruptcy judge who might really consider the idea that we're going to give them protection under this fraudulent idea of the Texas two-step, and they're not going to pay a dime to all of the families that have lost loved ones, all the people who have died from cervical cancer. And you know what? There is zero question that this product caused the cancer. They can actually find the fiber in the body after these women end up passing from cervical cancer, they find the product inside these people's body. What does the company bankruptcy mean for tens of thousands of lawsuits? How do you see it? Did I get it right, or is there some way that they're going to get out of this without the judge stepping up and saying this is ridiculous?
You got it right. I mean, the hearing on the motion to dismiss the bankruptcy for being filed in bad faith is pending right now. It's going on this week. So we'll see what the court does. But the bankruptcy filing completely derails the tens and thousands of lawsuits against Johnson & Johnson. And the real kicker is Johnson & Johnson didn't declare bankruptcy. They don't want to deal with the burdens that come with doing that, but they want to have all the benefits of a company that does declare bankruptcy. And that includes a stay against all litigation. So right now, Johnson & Johnson so far has successfully persuaded the court to stay all of the litigation against it. It's hit pause on all of these cancer victims' Seventh Amendment right to a jury trial. And the whole point of the Texas two-step maneuver is to just delay, throw up every obstacle, every barrier, and hope that these cancer victims ultimately quit or settle
Just
for
die.
pennies on the dollar.
They die away, and the damages are not quite as high when that happens. That's part of their strategy. Ellen Noble from Public Justice, first of all, thank you for all the great work you all do out there. This is such an important case. I know you've filed some extraordinarily important papers on this case, and I think we may have a chance. Who knows? Thank you for joining me.